Okay guys, welcome to the channel again. This time I want to cover something that most of us don't actually consider as part of when we're buying a handset. But between Apple and Google, there is two additional features that you might have not considered. Every day now I see people traveling on the road and they're using their phones to navigate to work or to wherever they're going. But actually there's better. There is something called Carplay and Google Auto. And on this video, I'm going to go through with you guys in the main differences. So let's start with CarPlay. So as you can see, my setup right now, I have all of my icons here on the screen, which is from familiar items you see, Apple Music, Maps, Messages, so on and so forth. And all I've done for this to work is have a compatible CarPlay head unit. It's a VW car. Most manufacturers are now supporting this. And I plugged my handset via USB to the car. There's a couple of bits on the actual phone itself you have to go through, nothing too much, just basically authorizing that your handset can go and do this basically. And in here you got the usual stuff. You have your messages, which you have to dictate via Siri because you're not allowed to type at the same time. You have your phone book, which obviously Siri
Who are we calling?
is asking me who I want to call, which in this case we don't want to call anyone, but you can go through your contacts, reasons, and so on and so forth. With the messages, it's a similar situation. We have,
Who do you want to send it to?
okay, Siri is going to ask me who I want to send a message to. I don't want to send a message to nobody right now, so I'm just going to go in here. I can actually go and see who have I got messages from. In this case, obviously I'm not going to send anything, but what we want to focus predominantly on is on two features. Obviously my music is carried over to my car, a little bit of Jason Derulo, and of course Maps. This is the feature this is the main reason why I plug it in, because obviously you want to go into destinations where you want to go, etc, etc. But in this case we're just going to go straight to this address. It's going to give me a couple of options, quickest route, alternatives, and so on and so forth, which I can select like so. I'm just going to go with this one and we're going to go. So come along and we're going to go for a ride. So one of the things I do like about CarPlay is the fact that the map interface itself is really, really nice and pleasing to the eye. So here we go, traveling along. It changes between day and night time, as you can see, switching here. I really do like it. I think in terms of, let's be honest, what you get nowadays from most manufacturers is a GPS system. Is, in my opinion, old and ancient and just cumbersome for the most part. The fact that you can use your phone to navigate is an option that most people are taking to, and for it to be out on a screen like this is just perfect. The interface is quite good. You've got turn by turn notifications going on, and also on Apple Maps, if you're in a urban area, you get these little buildings in the 3D style, which looks really quite nice. I can go into the map itself and I can go overview as well, so it shows me my route of where I want to go. It gives me live traffic updates as well, which is good. Most of the time you have to pay for this feature if you have a GPS navigation system from your manufacturer, from your car manufacturer, shall we say. And it integrates with your sound system, so I can talk to Siri straight up from pressing the button here on the right hand side of my steering wheel, which I'll show you a screenshot of it now, or a little clip. There you go. And I can talk to Siri as if I was talking to it on my phone. There is limitations. You're fully relying on your virtual assistant to do most of the functions you would normally key in yourself, but overall it's so handy. I can dictate messages, I can dictate emails. Also on iOS 12 we've been told that we're going to get even more third-party apps, so you can even actually get Google Maps on CarPlay. So that's a quick rundown of this. Let's just switch over to Car Auto, which is the alternative if you are on the Android camp. Okay guys, so like I said, we're going to have a look at Google Auto. Correct myself, there is not Car Auto. But yeah, so basically we're going to show you the equivalent to CarPlay but for Android. So as you can see here, the screen itself is a little bit more basic and perhaps a little bit more colorful. Your home screen just has obviously your next card and a little bit of the weather card on it. Down the bottom here you have some quick shortcuts. So obviously this is for navigation, so when I click on that it takes me straight to the navigation options. Google Maps, nice and easy to use. Press the phone icon, this takes me to recents and so on and so forth. If I click on here, I can also go through my contacts, call history, voicemail, or what have you. Click on here, this will take me to Google Play Music, which is the default application. However, you don't have to use that, you can use third parties. I haven't actually installed any on this machine, on this phone, so there ain't any showing up. And then obviously here, when I click on the far right hand side, is Return to Volkswagen. That will take you straight to the native apps of the car itself. If you have a BMW, that's likely to say Return to BMW. And it'll give you whatever apps BMW or your manufacturer has custom tailored to your head unit. But we're going to go back to the main menu here. I'm just going to say here home, because obviously it's predefined, but if I was navigating to a new destination, you just obviously go to the maps and you would punch it up on here, whatever destination you're going to. Or you could indeed ask Siri. Siri. Google. Okay, Google. So it's a very similar thing. Navigate me home.
Showing results for train.
I don't know why it's giving me train, but as you can see, using a virtual assistant isn't a given deal where it will actually understand what you're saying all the time. However, it's common knowledge that actually Google is a little bit further down the road in terms of intelligence and being able to assist you more accurately than Siri. So hopefully Siri that will catch up very soon. But let's just start navigation. And yes, it's giving me a couple of routes, blah, 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 blah. No one really cares about that. Let's just, actually it's got a little bit of a timer so that it will just automatically navigate. So let's just go. It is a different day today, so in case you're wondering why the lighting is a little different, but it doesn't matter. Let's, same place, leaving from work. I'm just basically going to share with you some of the things I've noticed. Google has gone obviously with the white background, very light. It also changes from night to day in terms of the background of the maps itself, depending whether it picks up that it's under a bridge or it's nighttime. This is just my car doing its thing. Obviously that feature comes from the light sensor on your car and not necessarily the handset you have or anything like that. But in terms of the map itself, it's a little bit more basic in terms of visually looking at it, a little bit more colorful. In terms of turn-by-turn guidance, is a little less intuitive in my opinion. I think that it is more functional in terms of features. And I'll tell you why I think that is. Actually, it's not why I think that is, I know why that is. The way the Google Maps separates itself and is able to achieve its accuracy versus Apple Maps is that Apple uses device ping to know what's happening with the traffic. So let's put an example. I'll travel on down this road. My device is pinging Apple servers, and then any device subsequently to me traveling down the same bit of road will have a live feed as to what the traffic may well be. Where Google Maps, on the other hand, uses, known sources of traffic information. I will list some of them in the screen now, and you can see what they are, which in turn makes it more accurate. And it's also a little more reliant on internet connectivity because it's obviously pinging all of these other services. Other than that, both are very, very similar. I found that Apple has worked mostly on visually, aesthetically is a more pleasing interface. I do, however, prefer the fact that those instructions on the map is on the left hand side of my screen as opposed to Apple having it on the right hand side, as I prefer to look at the 3D interface as opposed to the navigations. As you can see, I actually don't even have the voice guidance turned on because I don't really like it. The voice guidance itself is about the same for both. I can't say that there is any difference. So, but yeah, either one you use is really good. Now, to conclude on what I think, which one do I prefer? Well, I honestly don't think there is much to separate the two. They both will do the same. If your car stereo supports CarPlay, the very likely case is it also supports Google Auto. I do think that Apple's interface is a little cleaner, but the Maps application itself is a little less useful. So if we fast forward down to September, where we're going to have iOS 12 come out, and the fact that we're going to see third-party apps being given access to be able to come up into CarPlay, and the fact that we'll be able to see Google Maps on Apple devices and on CarPlay, I would be tempted to say, hey, why don't we just stick with Apple, and that way you have the best of both worlds, as you're never going to get Apple Maps on a Google device. I will give you a little caveat though. The initial setup between CarPlay and Google Auto was drastically different. With CarPlay, you plug in the USB cable to the car and on the phone itself, and it has one prompt saying you need to unlock the device to allow it to be used, and it also routes everything through that cable, so you can't your connectivity to Bluetooth devices and stuff like that, they become stopped. When it comes to Google Auto, you have probably about 7 or 8 little prompts telling you to allow, and that's not to mention the fact that actually your initial setup, at least on the S9, Samsung S9 Plus, you need to download the feature itself, the actual Google Auto feature, onto the phone, which is free, but you still have to download it. The second part of it is, when you plug in the phone, on CarPlay, it automatically takes you straight to the main screen where you can go and navigate and what have you. Where with Google Auto, it takes you to this screen here. Not a big deal, because you can literally just press there and it takes you straight to where you need to go. However, it just kind of throws you into that argument of where Apple tries to babysit you a little bit more with what you do, and perhaps giving you less for what it's doing for you, but it seems to do more because actually it just automatically does these little things. I will let you guys decide which one you prefer. Also, what I want to know is, would you guys like to see a more in-depth video on each of these interfaces? Maybe how to use it, how does it perform under different situations, a video similar to this. So let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments below which one you prefer as well. If you've used both, but better. If you are using one or the other, then let me know. Also, tell me, did you know your car could potentially do this already? A lot of people don't. They're still using a cable and navigating that way, and didn't even know that they could use the screen on their nice and new car to navigate them with their phone's application. But don't forget to subscribe, share if you liked it, send it to a friend of yours if you think they might benefit from this, and I'll catch you at the next one.